Welcome to Neutral Voices. I'm Dr. V, and this is In Depth, where we dig deep in the trenches of what matters. And we're having a good conversation tonight.
Oh, it's going to get deep tonight.
The crazy truth.
The crazy truth.
The crazy truth. I think everybody know a little bit about the crazy truth.
The crazy truth, yeah.
Well, tonight we're going to be talking about some crazy things that's being said in the media. Mm-hmm. And specifically, we're going to talk about, listen, when I think about people talking crazy, I'm thinking about Elon Musk. He definitely be saying some crazy stuff.
Relative.
I think he can just do what he want to do. Okay?
Yeah, you get to a point in life, you earn enough money, you believe you can. Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah. And wait, your girl.
My girl, Candace, says a lot of crazy. Her boy Trump says a lot of crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to mention his name.
Well, people say he talk crazy, but it's still the truth.
It's all relative. It's all relative.
What about that one dude?
Dr. Umar?
Yeah, I was going to say, what about that one guy?
Don't get him started. Yes, he gonna break it down, gonna hurt your feelings, and don't care about it.
What about Stephen A? Where he at?
Stephen A. He a hater.
Well, tonight, putting all them good people aside, we want to talk specifically about Mr. West. Put a little respect on his name. We want to talk about Mr. West,
we gotta put his
a.k.a. Ye.
Yeah.
No, it's not a.k.a. Ye.
It is name. Also known as. I say also known as.
His name is Ye.
Also known as.
His name is Ye.
Ye. Yes.
Now, Mr. West is Ye.
Okay.
Let's give him respect.
Yeah, but for the people that don't know who Ye is.
Everybody know who Ye is.
See, this is a filibuster, America.
Switch him seats.
I just want y'all to, this is called a heckler or a filibuster in the room. And so let's continue, because we have so much meat that we want to talk about tonight. And we're also going to be talking about my nephew, Kyrie Irving.
Since when he became your nephew?
Well, he looked like one of my nephews. Anyway.
Yeah.
But we're going to be, so let's just dive into this good conversation by watching this video that we have. This will get y'all stirred up.
Here go Ye, he stand up. We all saying, yeah, he right. But boy, when they grab that baddest, that's always been a tactic. You take the baddest, bring him out in front of all the slaves, and you tie him up and you whoop him, and you whoop him, and you whoop him. And you keep whooping him in front of all these slaves. This y'all baddest one, y'all richest one. He gonna stand up to us, and we all sit there and watch. Don't nobody join in. No celebrity, no entertainer. Jay-Z punk ass turned on him. They whooping him. They putting them lashes on his back. Then he find out, Toby, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. They still whooping him. I'm sorry. Don't stop whooping him. And we ain't said that's enough. We ain't stood up and said, F y'all, that's enough. We ain't playing no more basketball. We ain't doing nothing.
Man, stand up, celebrities, everybody. I think, at one point, maybe when that video was created and he said that, some celebrities weren't standing up. They were being quiet, but now we have to say some of them are speaking up.
They speaking up because of the simple fact. Well, I mean, we talking about Kyrie, because the only reason they speaking up behind Kyrie now because they're saying this punishment is too harsh.
No, I'm talking about even with West. So you don't think some people?
No, ain't nobody standing up for him.
Farrakhan.
Outside of Farrakhan, but I mean, name somebody else.
Well, I haven't been watching it that close.
Exactly, because there haven't been nobody else. Let's go.
Well, and where he is saying, and not too many people are
not enough.
Not enough. And not too many. I'm gonna say not too many, because we talk about this freedom of speech that we have, and you have the right to say whatever you want to say, but you also have the right to deal with the repercussions that come behind it. So here's what it is, and a lot of people, you got to think about it. A lot of people don't want to rock their boat because So no, a lot of people. But if enough people stood up and stood beside. Yeah,
was brave enough.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'm gonna put this out there, and y'all don't know this, but Oprah, one of the most powerful black voices that we have, right? She stood up for Harvey Weinstein and Jerry Epstein tooth and nail.
But then stand up for Bill Cosby.
Stood on them, broke down Bill Cosby and destroyed R. Kelly in the interview.
Exactly.
So what they're saying is, why aren't we as black celebrities, athletes, be it celebrities for Kanye, be it athletes for Kyrie, why aren't we in great droves standing up?
Right.
Back in the 60s, Kareem had Jim Brown. He had Oscar Robertson.
Yeah.
He had all the top basketball players and football players. When they wanted to stop something, they got together and stopped it.
Okay.
But now we don't have that. We're not having that conversation because we think our freedom of speech would cost us our living.
Right. Even
Right.
if people do agree, which a lot of people have to, because even amongst ourselves, when we discuss the situations, when we talk about Ye and Kyrie, I mean, many of us are in agreement, saying, this we see it. So that celebrities see it too, but like you said, they don't want to rock their own boat.
Well,
Right.
I look at it like this: when a celebrity, basketball or whoever that has that platform, when they start speaking education to enlighten the next person, enlighten their community, it's wrong. You are entertainment, and that's all you are. Is entertainment. You are not to shine light on anything else but keeping us entertained.
Right. Use your
Right.
platform for what you were told to use it for.
That's it.
basically.
Okay, so let's dig a little deeper into Ye, and I want to say it's Ye, not
Yes.
Ye, because I know the guy did say Ye. Now the name has changed a couple times, so we know with Yeezy that it was Ye, but now it's Ye from Kanye. So so just keeping it clear with that. But so let's dig a little deeper now. So he comes from a background where he obviously was well off, or he had a middle income family.
Yes, his mom was a professor.
I was going to say his mother was very intelligent. And so at some point he was, going to school in a different country or whatever. So where do you think, I'm saying with your knowledge, your research and what you know, where do you think he began to get controversial? Like what was the first controversial thing that happened with West, Ye, that you remember? So let's kind of go down that road a little bit. We talking about the crazy truth. So I know he said a lot of crazy stuff. He did a lot of crazy stuff or things that was off kilter. So what comes to mind when you think about some of the stuff that he has done that would make people almost want to stand back and not stand up for him?
Well, and I'm going to go. I won't say crazy because crazy is like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. We all have a slant on how. Seriously, we all have a slant.
I
on
know,
what,
but there's a reason our show is called The Crazy Truth.
Yes, but I'm giving you
and
that.
I'm just
So-
saying this is your point,
Yes,
and you're not
this
putting
is
it in the crazy
Right,
category.
right.
Okay.
But people called him crazy or controversial, and the most memorable thing that I can think he said was, George Bush don't like black people. I think that's one of the things that set him off.
Okay.
But most recently, one of the crazy things that people were at him about was about his fatherhood. And I don't think this is crazy because I'm a father of girls. He told Kris Jenner, you're not going to pimp my children like you pimped your children. You're not going to make money and scandalize my children like you did your children. These are my children. You can do whatever you want with your children. These are my children. You're not going to do that. So people got to, that's crazy.
No, that didn't sound crazy.
But
To
they
me.
put it in that crazy category. He must be off his meds. He on one of these tangents. No. This is a black man standing up for his children right. When we
Okay.
say fathers are not in our children's lives, they don't care about our children, he's making a stand. Oh, that's crazy. It's only crazy because it's against what society is normally seen.
Yeah, and so when I'm thinking crazy, and y'all can tell me, I don't know which category y'all might feel like this would fall in, but when Taylor Swift got the award, and he gets right up there, and he was like, nope, Beyonce should have won this with Single Ladies, and he says it.
Right.
And then, as he will too, he later called her, and he apologized. But my thing is that particular night, you stole her thunder. You know, right when she won it. And to me, that would fall in that category. I mean,
not
that's
crazy.
something that
He was just-
you don't do that.
That's not crazy.
But you don't do that at that time.
not?
That was the,
Right,
not?
on stage.
that was the Will Smith
not?
slap.
Why not?
I'm just saying.
I mean, explain why if he felt,
It was unnecessary because
Well,
that
why-
was his feeling. That's what he believed.
that's
he
what
didn't
he's
have to
feeling. He
say
stood
it.
up and said something, and he protected
okay,
his
if he
friend.
felt like it was right, he wouldn't have called her and
Right.
apologized.
he probably.
I just think that.
I mean, that's the nature of us as a culture, as a black
Okay,
people.
I'm gonna give you another one then.
I'm
Where you
just
gonna
saying.
put this one? Where you gonna put this one? What he was saying about George Floyd, and he was saying that he didn't agree, you know, with the whole the accusations of the police officer.
Okay, here we go.
The officer's
Okay, here we go.
knee
I
on
got
his
you.
neck.
I
And
got you.
they asked
Because he
him,
asked
did he
for
ever
more-
think about the family of
Does
George
he ask
Floyd?
for more proof?
But that's not his place to be
My
asking
question.
for
I mean,
proof.
he questioned the coroner.
He was being himself,
No,
being
he was questioning
controversial.
the coroner.
He still stands on it.
Yeah,
actually.
he questioned the
stands-
coroner. So at the end of the day, for a black man to stand up and say two times, he stood up for another black person.
Who?
But he stood up for. He said he felt that Beyonce should have won that award. He stood up and said it in public. Second time with the George Floyd situation, he stood. No.
I'm asking, what did he do with George Floyd?
He questioned the coroner. That's what he did.
But
To
he
say
said
what?
George Floyd, they were not on his neck.
That's
they
right.
said George
Yeah.
Floyd was a fentanyl addict.
Yeah, that's what
So
they-
he went against.
Yeah, he questioned the coroner.
Don't get confused.
No, I'm not confused. Don't get what
I
I'm
want to
saying.
make sure we understand clearly.
I'm trying to wait till I can get in.
Okay, wait. You're going to get in clear.
I'm waiting clear. I'm waiting
But
to get in.
wait,
I
wait.
want to hear.
Order in the court. Where's my
I
gavel?
got you. We're
Okay.
I mean,
All
I'm just saying.
okay, but listen, I just want to. I don't want
Can
to.
I specify the meaning of crazy though before you guys go any further?
Yes.
So having a disease or abnormal mind, insane, not sensible, and just erratical. The meaning of crazy.
There you go. Thank you.
He just wanted
That's
to
what we
calm us
need.
down.
Erratic. No, but I'm glad he said that because I actually have that in my notes because even Mr. West says himself that certain things in certain times he can get erratic. But my point is when you're talking about George Floyd's family, West's position was that he did not agree with the coroner saying that he died because there was a knee on his neck.
That's what I just
and
said.
I'm saying that wasn't the time. And you were.
questioned it. That's all he did,
But
question
my point is his timing. Just like I said about
With
Taylor
Taylor.
Swift, I don't want to stay
Questioned
there.
the coroner.
But he later said he shouldn't have said that. I'm just saying
I'm
he'll
just
say
saying.
things. Okay, like watch this for instance, and then Clarence, I want you to talk. For instance, his wife Kim said that he would go on these particular tyrants in like this one particular night. She said he did 23 or however many tweets or twits or whatever you call it in 94 seconds or minutes, and he erased them, almost all of them. But she was just saying certain things happening, and he'll just do that and just say stuff off the cuff that he really don't mean, but he just saying it at that moment. And those are the types of
Well,
things I'm saying that kind of
now-
gets him in the situation he's in now.
Now, I'm gonna tell you a personal. And when you bring out the erratic, first of all, to be an artist, you have to have some irrational thoughts in because you're creating something that has never been created. Nobody has thought about it. Nobody. So you are off balance anyway. If you're an artist, you have a side of you that nobody will ever understand because for you to create something out of nothing
Right.
and make this, so you're going to think differently than a lot of people. And before we move on, and I'm going to tell you this, I know a personal Kanye story. In Big Sean, before his debut album came out, Kanye moved him out to Hawaii. One morning, Kanye woke up and he called all the people. He said, if you want to be on this album, you need to be in Hawaii in 24 hours. He wanted everybody to stop their lives at that point to be. So
That was
is
a Prince move, by the way.
Yeah, but is that crazy or is that artistry? We can't say because artists, they move at their own pace and at their own rate. So does he have some emotional issues? He displays some, but I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I can't prescribe it.
Okay.
But as an artist, I can understand a lot of his movements when he do things
Okay.
that seem irrational.
I would say, so when you say creative, so first let's get this so I can say this. Now, I happen to be a person that actually, I do like him as a person, as an artist, as even fashion. You talk about being innovative. I consider, based on some of the things that I've heard him say, I would put him in the category of a genius. But that does not remove him from the category of being off kilter or having some type of chemical imbalance. And even he spoke about being bipolar. And there was a certain time when he was doing a concert when he went nuts or went bananas and he was erratic and out of control, and he started coming for Jay-Z on stage and saying, don't let your killers come get me, don't send them for me because they're gonna come and try to kill me and get my head, bust my head, or whatever he said. And then he kept spiraling down, and then that's when his doctor called 911. I don't know if you remember when he was hospitalized for those 9 days. So he has even spoken on his own mental situation.
Yes.
So it's not that I'm trying to put him there, but what I am trying to do is say that in a certain situation, people, your community, your brothers, the people that say they love you, your brother's keeper, have to be able to acknowledge that there is something that's off, and it doesn't mean that we stop loving you. It just means that we hold you up, and then we come in at the right time, like Dave Chappelle.
Right.
So when you have somebody that's supposedly been screened and said to be crazy, why is he sitting on some of the most renowned media platforms, being interviewed by some of the most renowned media figures?
I think that has to. And I do too. That's why I said, because I think that they know that he is also a genius. I mean, they know, but I think they know what everybody's looking at right now.
I understand what you're saying, Dr. B, but listen to what you're saying. You just gave us an analytical study of whatever was done on this man, this young black man. Mm-hmm. And once again, like the video said in the beginning, let's take the strongest or the most popular or one of the famous ones.
Yes.
And let's put him on the main stage and let's make a spectacle out of him.
Okay.
And let's take his influence and then turn it into a negative and make him crazy. Let's make sure that we do like we do in the school system.
Gotcha.
Oh, they're not a bad kid. They're crazy and they need meds. Let's give him meds.
Yes.
The game is being played from a higher anarchy down to a lower anarchy. The brother on the video in the beginning said slavery. Whip him until he apologizes and says, yes, sir, master.
Yes.
Osby Toby right now. So
Yes, I see where you're going.
you see what I'm saying? So
Yes, absolutely.
why is it that if he's deranged or crazy, does he get all the attention from all of the mainstream media?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think that's a double-edged sword, and I know we need to move on. But my opinion is, one is to continue to make that spectacle of him, because that gives everybody their conversation or their opinion. Because, in a lot of the interviews, we just see excerpts and we just see clips and we don't hear the whole.
All of
so
it.
so I think it's a double-edged sword that they are, hearing his point, but also making a spectacle out of him at the same time to, further validate that he is crazy, that he is off kilter, that he is. So I think that's one of the reasons that he's on this media tour.
So
Yes, and real quick, I just wanted to say, I wouldn't necessarily have even said that had I not heard him say that.
Right.
Yeah,
because I'm not one to grab hold of what the media is putting out there. And so that's the only time that I would repeat that is only because I heard Wes
and
say it himself.
He did speak on it. And, when you're talking about things that have been deemed, that he has said as crazy, something that comes to mind for me, which I don't think is crazy at all, because 50,000 people a year change their name, their legal name. So when he did change his name from Kanye to Ye, it became, like you said, a spectacle, which I'm not quite sure why it became one. But I think we should talk a little bit, about why he did that, and not just because, as he cited, for personal reasons.
No, you can. Which how you want to answer this question?
I think we're going to go.
Let's go ahead and
the video.
Oh, yeah, we do have a video. I didn't know if y'all had something y'all wanted to add to that.
That video is going to set it up.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a video. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
You have black people that get on the radio every day in white-owned companies, white-owned stations with white-owned sponsors that play the role of hypersexualized, hypercriminalized male. I ask these advertisers, I say, I've got hundreds of songs a day that celebrate killing animals. Will you put them on your station? They said, no. I got hundreds of songs a day that talk about assaulting women and abusing kids. Would you put them on your station? They said, no. I said, I got hundreds of songs a day that talk about murdering blacks. Would you put them on your stations? They said, well, that depends. Depends on what? Who it's done by and who it's branded for.
Well, there's some crazy truth for you.
So what's that have to do with his name change?
Well,
Brandy.
it's Brandy, and here's as he spoke about this. There's a couple of things that I'm going to correlate. Another one of the crazy things that people say Kanye said, and that was slavery was a choice. I'm going to correlate this with this. Why the name change? First of all, Kanye, the record label, owns the artist name Kanye West. The artist name, not the person, but any artistry that comes out, music, anything that comes out of the name Kanye West. The record label owns the artistry name. So, just like Prince, y'all remember Prince many years ago, he went to a symbol and then he went by the name of the artist formerly known as Prince because he couldn't make, if he made music under the moniker Prince, the record label owned it.
Okay.
They owned it. So he is separating himself from Kanye West, the artist.
Which is normal in the industry.
Which is normal in the industry. He was going through things with Tidal, Spotify, his record label. All it's about him getting his profits. And this is why I say I'm going to correlate slavery with it. Because he's saying everybody else is making money off of our culture but us. You're making money off my intellectual property, my intellectual name, but I'm not allowed to make money off my intellectual property nor my intellectual name. So how does that correlate to slavery as a choice? Now, I'm not going to say that's a full thing because when slavery was being abolished, even before the Civil War and everything, they were freeing slaves, but they made it hard for them to leave. They was telling them, if you leave the plantation, more heinous things can happen to you. You're safer here. You're smart. You're better off here. So some did leave. Some took that choice, but there were some that chose that we've already lost sons and daughters. We already had broken up families, so we're not going to risk that again. So we're going to stay here for the safe haven. So that's what he's saying about this money in this industry. That if I continue to let them profit off of me, I'm a slave, and I know this.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not going to let them profit off of Kanye West. You can profit off Kanye West, but I'm starting something new, and you're not going to profit. I'm not going to stay on your plantation and keep making you money.
Isn't that crazy? It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. But the only thing I say is the reason that statement was not wholly true is because of the context in which he was using it. There were some people that left the plantation, but the ones that they scared or made it that it was more heinous, they decided, was it the right choice? We don't know. It's a choice that they made.
Okay.
So was slavery a choice?
To some.
How?
Y'all gonna mess around and open up another show.
Was slavery a choice? Yeah, he fights. Yeah, he fights. Yeah.
Here we go.
It was a choice. Because, they sit and talk about the slave, people stayed on plantations or whatever, but they never talked about the slaves that killed their masters, that took over the slave ship, that took over everything. They don't never talk about that at all. Because the simple fact, if I only show you, hey, this is where the slaves are, and this is what they slaves did, and we made them slaves, versus the ones that actually jumped off and said, you're not finna slave me. So they chose to be a slave,
right?
Versus choosing to take over the plantation and killing the master.
Right.
Let's be realistic about
and see, and
so
that's
a choice.
All right, now, and that's what I'm saying. Y'all know y'all would get into some good stuff moving down that road right
so can
there.
I ask him one more question?
Here we go.
So as
Come
black
on.
men, when the guy on the video was talking about the fact of black music,
Yes.
and the verbiage and the lyrics that are utilized in black music, and you hear the black on black everything. You don't hear the Jew, you don't hear the white, and then it goes back to when Kanye said about the killing of the kids in the school, Kanye said that's a big deal and he respects that. But there's 14 young black kids killed in Chicago every 7 days of the week. And the world's not talking about that.
Yeah.
Nor is America.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel as black men when you hear that fact? That why is it that the Jews that own 99% of media will allow the blacks to exploit blacks, but you can't say nothing about a Jew?
I think it's
it's a slave that they were talking about being beaten constantly, and you take people that's on a higher post that black people are looking up to, that young black people are looking up to, and those are the ones that you put in front of us, and you begin to break them down piece by piece, element by element, in everything that they touch, so that we can see that, and it puts fear in you so that you can continue to hold your tongue and not bend your knee and all of that other stuff that happens. I believe that that's what that is.
Yes, and I think we're a commodity as a community in any shape, form, or fashion, be it good or bad.
Mm-hmm. And so as we get near the end, and because this is so popular and so talked about too, so let's talk about Kyrie, because we're talking about West, and we know that these two brothers are, I'm going to say, misunderstood.
Yeah. I'm totally misunderstood with this Kyrie thing, because Kyrie is being punished for nothing he said. Mm-hmm. And Kyrie is being punished for somebody else making a profit. Kyrie just posted a post about a movie. And this movie was actually old. I mean, it's not like 2022. Right. It's not super old, but it's not a 2022 movie.
It came on 18.
Yeah. So he just posted something.
Mm-hmm. But the content
in the
movie is, and in the book, is true.
It's a lot of good content in it. If you haven't read it, I'm not going to promote it tonight because I just want to get into this right now.
I'll promote it.
Well, I mean, you can, but I want to just say this before we, as a people, any people, any color, especially black people coming against black people, before we speak against somebody or we take sides, I believe we need to be educated. And so what I did was I dug a little deeper into what Kyrie was doing that led him even to that particular video.
Right.
And so he was in search of himself, and a young man losing his mother at 4 years old and his grandmother a couple years right after that. So he saw a lot of hurt, pain, but he said there was a lot of things missing and he wanted some answers.
Right.
And so in searching for himself and who he was as a black man, he began to do his research and find his tribe, and that's how come he ended up changing his name to Ella, however you pronounce it, but Hela. And so that's how some of his posts will have that. But that's where that comes from. Well, in the midst of his researching, so in his curiosity, and that's who he has been as a controversial person, as they talked about, believing that the world was flat, etc. Mm-hmm. So that's when he began to dig, and that's what led him to that particular documentary, book, etc. And so in learning, he posted it and said, "Stay woke."
I think he's not being misunderstood. I think he's being mistreated.
Mistreated too.
Being muffled. I think he's.
Well, the only reason I said misunderstood is some of his teammates, some of the people that know him, his friends said that he is totally not that guy.
Right.
That he's a very positive person, and when he walks in the room, you can feel his peace. And so they had a tendency to twist some of the things that he may say.
That's kind of muffling. It really. Anytime an athlete, or like I said it earlier, anybody in that stature trying to educate the black culture. Mm-hmm. We got to shut him up, because if I enlighten one person, now that person going to enlighten another person, now that person going to enlighten another person, and you're not paid to enlighten people like that. You're paid to shut up and dribble. You're paid. You are my entertainment. I'm paying you to entertain me. That's what I'm paying you for. I'm not paying you to enlighten people, and which is wrong. And then when you got your own counterparts calling you idiot. Mm-hmm. Because you chose to educate yourself versus them trying to go out and educate themselves. Right. Man, we got a problem here. Houston, we got a problem here. It's just that simple.
We do. And you said idiot and some of all the other names, but and that's why I go back to one of the things he was saying, that you have to know yourself. And so I'll leave it with that, and believing in what Kyrie and even what West is saying. you have to stand for what you feel is right. And so when they asked even Wes, why did you say that? That's how I felt then. Mm-hmm. That's how I felt at the moment. You don't try to make me take back what I was feeling. I have a right to express my feelings. And the same with Wes. I have a right to tell my people to wake up and to stay woke without offending another culture.
Yeah, or apologizing.
And so there you go, introducing the cancel culture, right? I mean, because that's what it's all about right now. That's what's going on. So much to talk about, so little time. You know, it's a lot to get out in 30 minutes, so we may have went over just a little bit. But we want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. And without further ado,
always.
Mr. E, you know you always got something you want to end with.
Always protect your mind.
Your voice.